thanks for tuning in. I'm Charles Hardcastle of the award-winning Joseph Barnes Wines, and I'm talking to you from my wine shop, my little wine shop here in Saffron Walden in Essex. And on this occasion I thought we'd take a closer look at the Syrah or Shiraz grape. And to help me on our way, we have got 3 Syrahs here, but not necessarily from regions you would associate with Syrah production. We've got a red from the Ardèche, we've got a Syrah from the Maipo Valley in Chile, and we have a Syrah from the Meknes region of northern Morocco. So we'll taste those in a minute. But before we do, just a brief word about Syrah or Shiraz itself. The true home of Syrah is in the northern Rhone, Côte-Rôtie, Hermitage, these areas in particular. And the Syrah is obviously is a big part of the blends of the Rhone region, Gigondas, Vaqueras, Queyran, those sort of regions. But despite over half the world's Shiraz or Syrah being planted in France, there are extensive holdings elsewhere. For instance, in the Barossa Valley in Australia, the Barossa Valley, they make fabulous Shiraz down there. There are also extensive plantings in South Africa, in California, and increasingly in the Washington State region of the northeast United States. So it's a widely planted grape. They say it's the 7th most planted grape in the world, so widely planted. So there we go. The Syrah vine itself is quite a hardy, vigorous, reasonably high yielding vine. It's fairly resistant to pests and diseases, and the berries that it produces are quite thick-skinned, tannic, dark berries. The wines themselves are floral, aromatic, packed full of black fruit flavours, quite spicy, peppery, that sort of thing. Touch of green herbs to them, and many Syrahs can be quite tannic, which gives them great ageing capacity. So that's enough about that. Let's move on and do some tasting. Here we have our first Syrah. This is 100% Syrah from an estate called Domaine Le Mazelle. It's called Cuvée L'Armande, and it's made by a brother and sister outfit called Gerald and Jocelyne Oustric, and they make wine in a little village called Valvinière, just southwest of Montélimar in the Ardèche region of the southwest France. And they're biodynamic. They've been biodynamic since 2002. So there's no added sulphur to this wine. Only indigenous yeasts are used, and the wine is neither filtered nor fined. So we're going to expect a slightly cloudy job here, which indeed we have, which you may not pick up on the camera. But you know, colour-wise, we've got a nice deep ruby red there. Gorgeous ruby red, I have to say. Absolutely delicious. On the nose, well, I'm picking up quite a fresh, sweet nose. I'm picking up a bit of orange peel. I'm picking up certainly some red cherries. Yeah, I'm picking up some black fruits, plenty of cassis, that sort of thing. On the palate, along the palate, quite light again, quite fresh, quite sweet, but quite complex. You know, we've got flavours of damson plums. We've got flavours of, again, the cassis, and a slight spice hits you at the back of the throat. Very nice. The tannins are actually quite drying with this particular wine. They're there, you know, but they're not overt. They're not overpowering the wine. Great acidity to this. Great acidity means a good food wine. But you wouldn't want anything too heavy with this. So I would suggest maybe a pepperoni pizza, something like that. Wild mushroom stroganoff. A plate of prosciutto, black olives, that sort of thing. Really nice, and I reckon actually you could probably chill this in the summer. So really nice, light, fresh, sweet Syrah. The finish is staying with me here. It's quite lingering. It's quite spicy. Absolutely delicious. This weighs in at 13%. and it is available from our website and from our shop, and it costs £13.95. And as I say, for those of you who are interested in this sort of thing, it contains very little sulphite and no pesticides or herbicides, so that is really nice, I have to say. Nice refreshing example of Syrah. We're going to move on now to the second wine. This is from Chile. This is from the Maipo Valley in Chile, and it's made by the Di Martino family, who make wine at an estate called Di Martino Legado. They've been making wine in Chile for over 70 years now, and this is made at a higher altitude, up to about 825 metres above sea level. Wines that are made at higher altitudes tend to be more complex, tend to have a bit more about them, and this is from a vineyard called De Norte Verde, a 28 hectare vineyard, and it is aged in oak barrels, used oak barrels, French oak barrels, for a year before bottling. It's organic, the estate is organic, and the grapes are hand harvested. So let's have a look at this one. So here again, a nice dark ruby red in colour, lovely dark crimson, delicious, lovely. On the nose, well, I'm getting a bit of chocolate with this one, certainly a bit of spice. A bit of green herbs again, you know, cassis, all these classic Syrah sort of aromas. Yeah, certainly a bit of chocolate in this one. On the palate, on the palate, certainly more beefy than the last example from the Ardèche. Quite tannic. There's a fair bit of tannin there, as we would probably expect. This is oaked in French barrels. Again, I'm getting these nice sort of black fruit, plummy flavours, a bit of spice. The finish is quite spicy, I have to say. We're getting a bit of spice and a bit of green herbs, a bit of wild rosemary, a bit of sage, that sort of thing. And as I say, the finish is quite lingering. So. Very nice, a great example, quite a spicy red. This one, slightly more earthy. Perhaps we should go for something like a braised oxtail, cannellini beans, vegetarian stew, something like that. Really good. This weighs in at 14% and costs a remarkable £12.99. Great value, I think. That made a fantastic Sunday lunch wine, that. So available from our website and in the shop. Moving on, we have this. This is it's a bit of a monster. This bit of a hooligan. This is 14.5%, and this is made just outside Meknes in Morocco, and it's owned by two top-notch Bordelais winemakers, Christophe Gribelin and Philippe Gervauson, both of which make wine in the Pessac-Léognan region of Bordeaux. Gribelin, for instance, runs Chateau de Fuzel, and Gervauson was the head winemaker at La Rive Haut-Brion. So I think they know what they're doing. This is oaked in new French barrels, as is the Bordelaise way. So we're expecting something a bit more spicy. And again, you know, on the nose, I'm getting this sort of plenty of orange peel, plenty of chocolate. Yeah, black fruits, great colour, a nice sort of tawny, dark tawny red. On the palate, much more savoury, I think, than the other two. Again, we're getting the plumminess, we're getting the spiciness, we're getting this slight green herb sort of thing, but it's not quite as fruity. The tannins are certainly pronounced, but they don't overpower the flavours. Really nice. That is a really nice example of Syrah, I have to say. Yeah, delicious. Good acidity provided by the oak barrels, and again, quite a complex nose. Finishes with me. It's staying there. It's quite lengthy. I think with this you'd probably want a leg of lamb marinated with juniper berries and garlic. That would be good. Crusty baguette with some tapenade, black olive tapenade, I think will be particularly good with this. I like this very much, I have to say. And this comes in at $18.99. Not fantastically cheap, but a really nice, beefy, spicy Syrah. Again, great with a roast joint. So, joint of beef, something like that. So there we go. There are 3 Syrahs. I think they're all really good examples of the grape. I hope that it's encouraged you to perhaps go out and grab a bottle and see if you agree with me. It's time for me to clear up now. I think Luke's got to pack away his gear, and while we do so, I think we'll listen to a bit of one of the most underrated jazz guys that I know, a chap called Nathan Davis, and this is a track called Stick Buddy, and from an album called If, recorded in 1976.